Ooh, that looks tasty. Welcome folks, The Hungry Gamer is back with another Kickstarter preview, and today we are talking about the Kinfire Chronicles. And this is a game that I got to check out just a little bit at Gen Con, and then they were kind enough to run me through a digital demo. And so just understand that this is still a bit of first impressions. I have not gotten to play through the game, multiple scenarios, multiple plays of the same scenario or anything like that, like I often do. So please do keep that in mind. And so what Kinfire Chronicles is, well, first off, what you're seeing kind of up in the corner running is I just did a screen grab of the game that I played through. I sped it up so you can just kind of see a little bit of what's happening. Obviously, it's a little bit harder because it is a Tabletopia demo, but just so we have something to look at there. This is a story-driven game, and like some of the best stuff that Jerry Hawthorne does, all of the maps for this dungeon crawl adventure style game are going to be in a book. So you just flip to the page and have your map set up, and then there'll be different setups based on the choices that you make. As I mentioned, choices that you make. You'll be going through this game, and based on who's in your party and the choices that you want to make, each different battle that you go into will be a little bit different. And the core of the game is going to be around these different battles. And each of your different characters has their own different set of stats, and more importantly, their own deck of cards. And these deck of cards makes each player play completely differently. The two times I got to play, one time I played a rogue that was very much about doing damage and not being the center of attention. And then, if I was able to come in behind somebody and I wasn't the focus, I could do more damage. And the second time I played this dwarf that's all about status effects, is putting things out on the enemy that made it to where when they activated, nothing happened, or they activated, they got hurt, and things like that. And then I witnessed a couple other different playstyles as well. And on your turn, you're going to have to do a little bit of movement, and you can make an attack. Normal stuff. And you have the cards in your hand, you'll play one that says action. Great. However, all the other players around the table are going to get the opportunity to, in their hand, if they have cards that say boost and are the same color as the card that you've played, there are different colors on there, then they'll be able to add to what you're doing and make it stronger and stronger. So it's a very much a cooperative combat system as well, as you're kind of talking out what's going on and what you want to use when and how you want to approach different things. At the same time, you never quite know when you're going to act, because initiative is determined by a bag. You're drawing out of the bag, and you might pull the bad guys, you might pull one of you might pull yourself out 2 or 3 times. Or you might pull out one of these little hearts that when those come out, everything kind of goes back into the bag and you get to choose who it is going to act. Or I guess when it fills all the way up, everything goes back into the bag. And so there's a little bit of randomness there, but you can kind of start counting what is in that bag to kind of see what might be happening. That's really all I have to say about the mechanics of the game, because again, that's it. That's all I've done. I've played through one scenario and a little bit of another one. So I just have a small idea about this. And so what do I like about this game? What I'm going to say is I am still super intrigued by this game. I like the art. I love the way that they're building these characters just through tiny bits of flavor text on their cards. It is incredible the way they're building the characters just with the flavor text on this card. I feel like I know these characters just by reading a couple of cards. I feel like I know them. And I am told that those little story kernels will get played out through the game, or potentially played out through the game. So I'm very, very excited about that. I really like the initiative system. I love the pulling out of the bag, that you start kind of count what's going on, and it just has those moments where you're like, oh my god, please don't be me, please be me, please be me, please be me, or please don't be me. And then it happens or doesn't. It's fantastic. When I played through the demo, we lost. But there was those moments where I was like, well, if we pull this one thing, we'll be fine. We didn't pull it, but there was that moment. I love initiative systems that are done like that. But mostly it's that card play. I think it's very easy. It is very clean. It's very simple to figure out what's going on, but it's really satisfying. And, well, I'm going to leave it at that. This is a game that I am still very excited about. I've only played the one time, but this is one that there's nothing about this game that I'm going to single out really as a big quibble. So what are my quibbles about the game, now that I've said that? And again, keep in mind, as I said, I played through one game. I do question if the scenarios are going to have a lot of variety to them. And I don't know. Are you just going to go out and be beating on something every single scenario? If so, after 3, 4, 5, maybe you're done with that. Or are there going to be other things in there? How is this story going to affect the scenario? How are the choices that you make going to affect the scenarios? I know one very early one, I was told if you make one choice, you actually wind up getting ambushed in the fight. Make the other choice, you do the ambushing. Well, okay, well that's a real choice with a real result, but it's small. Are there going to be choices later on where I've made this choice, now I'm not going to even do this scenario, I'm going to jump to this one, or now instead of fighting this person, they're not my ally, we're going to fight somebody else. Are there meaningful choices? I don't know. It's something to kind of watch for and to kind of dig into and find out about. And then the only other thing that I can pull together as I'm trying to find things to be wary about is there a possibility for some serious quarterbacking going on here? And I say that because, I mean, there's always quarterbacking when you're playing a co-op game or a dungeon crawl. But because every time you play a card, there's that interaction with other players and their cards, are you at risk if you have a serious alpha gamer, gaming quarterback, whatever you want to call it, who's going to start running the show? Now, I always argue, don't play with those people. But hey, maybe you are that person, and so yeah. Maybe work on not doing that. But the point remains, perhaps that is something that could happen. But really, that's it, folks. I am still exceedingly excited about this game and what it might be. It was in my top 5 games of Gen Con, and that was just after a very short little demo that I did. And after playing through a game, it absolutely is still in my top games that I played at Gen Con. It absolutely is one of the games that I'm most excited about coming to crowdfunding very soon. I think if you are somebody that likes story-based, if you like deep characters, and if you like card play, because you're not checking dice here, but if you like card play in your dungeon crawl, then this is one that you really want to check out and see what's going on. Here we go. The only thing I can think of, there's no minis. Some people love minis in their dungeon crawls. There's no minis. Acrylic standees, I think they're beautiful. My understanding is they're going to actually have front and backs on them, so depending on what side, you can see the front and the back of the character, which I love. But really, that's it. So there you have it, folks. That is Kinfire Chronicles, coming to Kickstarter soon, if it's not already there. I'm real high on this. I'm real high on this. I hope at some point I get to kind of play through more of it, but who knows. So there you have it, folks. That is Kinfire Chronicles. As I said, first impressions, very good first impressions. As always, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.